realtor.com. Today is March 28th, 2026. Turn life changes into smart housing moves. Real estate tips from our pros sitting right here. And so when life changes, your housing strategy should change with it. No matter your life stage, there is a smart move you can make, and you can make it right now. So whether you are buying your first home, maybe a move-up home, we have some tips for you today I think is going to help. You may own your home, but you want to build your income and your wealth. Maybe you want to start buying some homes to use as rental properties, and we're going to talk about that. Finally, you may want to plan for the best housing options when you get older and you want to retire and you want to stay in your home. So we're going to navigate and help you get through all of this. But right now I want to introduce to you our real estate pros. And first of all, are you getting ready to buy your first home? Perhaps you own a home and you want to, maybe you want to move up. I want to introduce you to Pat Goldstein. She's with Crye-Leike Realtors in Tennessee and Mississippi. And Pat, you're known around the town as the gold standard in real estate, and people in our network call you that. And
That's
today,
me.
and today you're giving us some tips on first-time home buyers, move-up buyers. Take about 30 seconds, introduce yourself, Pat, to our audience, and tell them a little bit about yourself.
Well, good morning. I'm Pat Goldstein, as Joe said, with Crye-Leike Realtors. I've been in the real estate business for a little bit over 40 years. I started when I was 12, as you can imagine. And love what I do, love helping people get into homes, especially first-time home buyers. It's so much fun to work with people who are excited and ready to start their life in their new home. Maybe they're having a baby, maybe they're just getting married. There's so many reasons. I've even helped some older people, almost as old as me, get into their first home, and that was really exciting.
Oh, that I know, and I've worked with you for years, Pat. You're wonderful in taking care of your customers. But I want to introduce to you another one of our pros, and it's Silvana Piodotti. She's a realtor with EXP Realty, and I love working with Silvana. She is very fluent in English and in Spanish, and I've worked with you with real estate investors, all kinds of different types of transactions. But today, your main focus is telling us how good ways to be investors to buy investment property. Take about 30 seconds and tell us about yourself, Silvana, and what you do for your clients.
Thank you, Joe. Good morning, and yes, I'm Silvana Piodotti with Real Estate EXP Realty. I have been in the residential business for 20 years, and I have about 7 different type of certifications that pretty much covers every phase of the real estate residential business. But today, I'm just going to be focusing on investors and investments only.
All right, and she works with distressed property also. And another good friend of mine I've worked with for years, and I can't wait to introduce you to, is Gay Young. She's a realtor with EXP, and it's her first time in the Real Estate Mortgage Shoppe studio. Yay, we're so glad you could join us. And Gay does the gamut also. I mean, she does everything, buyers, sellers, different types of real estate, very knowledgeable. Gay, take 30 seconds and tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Well, thank you, Joe, for having me today, and I'm glad to be in great company here with Silvana and Pat, and we work together in deals as well. I've been in the business over 20 years, been with EXP Realty now for a number of years, and work in both Tennessee and Mississippi. I do residential. I work with my husband, Steve, who also does commercial realty with EXP, and I love helping people in all stages of life, whether they be first-time home buyers, that's a thrill, as well as moving up into a new house or a bigger house, or all through the different stages that they have. And today I'm focusing more on the senior housing options and what's out there and what to consider in that. So
Well,
thank you for having me.
We're glad you're here, Gay, and Silvana and Pat, and I'm Joe Garner, and we're glad you're joining us too. And Pat, we want to start out with some first-time home buyer tips, and let's talk about, you talk a lot about researching the neighborhood and how much the comfort level on their payment and down payment.
Right, and you know the very first thing people need to do is to know what they can afford, they need to call you, Joe, first and say, how much can I qualify for? This is how much cash I have available for my down payment and closing costs if needed. And I'm ready to go. I want my first home. So go to the neighborhoods, drive around where you think you want to live. Maybe you want to live close to your mom, or maybe you want to live across town from your mom. Whatever the case, find neighborhoods that you're comfortable with, because you can change your home, but changing your neighborhood isn't going to happen.
Right, right.
So that's my favorite kind of buyer, because then they want to move again.
Yeah.
However,
You want them to be happy
yes,
and feel good about the home they buy and the financing they get, is what I would say too. Well, you know, you and I were talking before the show, and you were also talking about if you're renting and you have a lease, then you don't want to wait till like a month before your lease is up.
no, it takes time, number one, to find the home, and number two, to get it under contract, and then number three, it takes time to get it from contract to closing, because they've got to go through the loan process, the appraisal, inspection, repairs. So you want to start early, looking for your neighborhood and determining where you want to be.
Well, you know, you also work with sellers, and you had some advice on what not to do for sellers about not being there at the open house, talking and talking and talking.
When your house is going to be shown, then get the house ready and leave. Your buyers, hopefully, will be with a realtor, and so they will escort them through the home and tell them what they know about the home. They don't want to hear from you, and we don't want them to hear from you, because a lot of times you're going to say something that might turn them off, something that's really special and important to you. Like,
You were telling me about
Yeah.
the guy with the security system. He had to alter a big security system and
Oh.
talked about how
he was in
good it
electronics,
Yeah.
and he built this amazing security system that could probably pick up a cricket if it got into the house. But the buyers came, and he was going on about how wonderful this security system was. When we left the house, the first thing they said to me is, "This must not be a safe neighborhood." They didn't realize it was his excitement about what he had built.
Right.
All they heard was security, security,
Yeah,
and this house is secure.
And that's a positive turning into a negative.
Yeah,
Yes,
Right.
absolutely.
it
Good
is.
good points.
And we've all dealt with that.
Good points, Pat, and I know we've got some more. We want to hear from some others here, but real quick, I just want to say from the mortgage desk, if you're a first-time home buyer, there are a lot of special programs out there that can get you some down payment assistance, can get you some lower than market interest rates. Take advantage of those. It makes the house more affordable. The most common low down payment loans are the government-backed FHA loan, the rural housing loan if you're moving out kind of a little outside the main city, veteran 100% loans, and these can be combined with other down payment assistance products. But, you know, these are strategies that can help you if you want to buy your first home, and also move up homes. The move up buyers, I would say that if you want to sell your home, but you don't really want to sell it before you buy a new home, there are a myriad of different programs out there available to you that will help you not get too far in debt trying to own two homes at the same time. But call me, text me. I am happy to talk with you about how to do that. It's called a recast, by the way, and I did have a lady that used it. She had found a home out in the country that she wanted, had a greenhouse and all that, exactly what she wanted. But it wasn't going to be available forever. And she didn't want to sell her home because her son was living in it, going to school, and he had another year. She goes, "Joe, really, what do? I don't want to get another third loan to try to buy this house. I want to have a loan on my house, but I have a lot of equity." So we were able to do a recast, and so that she could put a small amount down on the house out in the country. And when she sold her old home, then we would change the payment down. So talk to me about that. Anything else you guys want to add? We got about a minute.
I love the recast idea because a lot of people don't know that you can use that once you sell your home, take that lump sum of money and put it toward your loan. And it's not just a refinance, it totally redoes the monthly mortgage payment.
Love it. Well, you're on Real Estate Mortgage Shoppe. I'm Joe Garner, your host. I'm a mortgage officer. Connect with me for your home purchase or refinance at jogarner.com. Silvana Piedati is with EXP Realty. And Silvana, how do we contact you?
You can call me at 901-647-6661.
And Gay Young of EXP Realty, how do we contact you, girl?
Call me please, 901-581-6118.
And Pat Goldstein of Crye-Leike.
You can reach me at 901-606-2000.
Okay, we'll see you guys back. We're going to go to break and we'll see you guys back in just a moment. Consult with your certified advisors before acting on any information given on Real Estate Mortgage Shoppe. Joe Garner is a licensed mortgage loan officer, NMLS 757308, Equal Housing Opportunity.
Hi, this is Ed Hill with Master Roofing, Memphis, Tennessee, and you're listening to Real Estate Mortgage Shoppe. Now back to your host, Joe Garner.
Okay, it is time for comic queries. Now, you probably already know the answer. Well, we're going to ask you anyway. So, Savannah, I think you got a riddle for us.
I definitely do. Here it goes. What do you call a monthly bill that can help build wealth instead of just disappearing?
Well, Silvana, of course, it's a mortgage payment.
Yay! Yay, good job. Pat, I think you've got a riddle for us today.
I do. What do polite real estate agents drink?
What do polite real estate agents drink?
But of course, property.
Property.
Savannah.
Oh, you guys. Well,
I got some of that property now.
today on Real Estate Mortgage Shoppe, we're talking about turn life changes into smart housing moves, tips from the real estate pros. I'm your host, Joe Garner. I'm a mortgage officer, and I can help you with a home purchase or a refinance if you're using a traditional loan, special program, or an outside of the box program, and we can make that mortgage process easy. Connect with me at jogarner.com. We've got Silvana Piedati with EXP Realty. Silvana, how do we contact you?
You can call me at 901-647-6661.
Okay, and we have Gay Young with EXP Realty.
You can call me at 901-581-6118.
And Pat Goldstein of Crye-Leike.
Call me at 901-606-2000.
Okay, so you got the gang, and to our listeners, what life change are you facing right now, and what's the smartest housing move that you can make right now? I want to pivot over to Silvana Piedati with EXP Realty. I have worked a number of type of loans with Silvana, but one of the common ones that we've done before are for investors, and these are people who probably own their home already, but they're looking to gradually over time acquire real estate property to build wealth and to build a passive income for themselves over time. So Savannah, you and I have worked on some really cool deals where people had good ideas. Why don't you share your...
Most definitely we have. And when people really think about investments in real estate or investors, they really think about those people that buy 20, 30 homes, 100 homes in one city. But what I want to get to you is a smart way that many of my couples are actually doing as far as investment. So you have a young couple that owns a house, and they're having children and having more children. So what they do is they buy an inexpensive home, maybe by the university or another place where they can easily rent it out. So they take a mortgage on this small property, and that mortgage is being paid by the tenant for many years. So when that child grows to be 18, 19, and wants to go to higher education or university, and funds are a little tight, then guess what? You sell that property, and there is your money for higher education.
Oh, I love it. And you know, I've done another version of that with a couple I call Mr. and Mrs. Smith, not their real name. But they actually had a son that they wanted to go to their alma mater, but since they lived out of state, it was going to be very expensive. And they were like, I just don't think we can afford it with all the housing and the education costs. What they ended up doing, at first, they were going to buy it, but they said, we don't have 20% down to buy it as a non-occupying home. So we put their son on the loan. He had just enough credit. We put their son on the loan, did it as an owner-occupied FHA, low down payment, low interest rate, and the son rented out 2 of the other rooms in the house, and his housing was paid for and then some, and then when he graduated, he had built credit, equity, and all of that.
Absolutely. And when there is a way to do and have some creativity, you need to go to Jo Garner, because she will make it happen.
Well, Silvana, we've worked on so many deals together, and you talk about REITs.
Yeah, that's another way that actually people can invest money. If you don't really want to get your hands into a specific property, then REITs is an opportunity. But for that, you have to contact your specialty, financial advisor,
Right,
because I don't get into that specifically, but I know that a lot of people make some very good money off of it.
And house hacking.
Oh, house hacking. That is another one. Let me tell you what that is. So many individuals It doesn't have to be a young professional. Anyone can just buy a multiple unit, triplex, duplex, whichever you call it. So what you do is you rent one side of the unit. That's where you get your mortgage on the entire unit. But guess what? When you rent the other side is actually paying, your tenant is paying for the entire mortgage. And you basically live there for free.
Yes.
So
Love
that
it.
is house hacking.
Love it. Okay, well, on the financing side, she was talking about savvy investors that own a bunch of property or some that just doing it one at a time. I work with both, but one of the programs I use a lot is the DSCR program, specifically for investors. Low documentation, you don't have to show a bunch of income. You do have to show money to close, credit. You have to have a property in good condition, good title. But it will go really fast. You can close in less than 30 days, I mean really fast. DSCR program. Also, I have investors who buy property that needs fixing up. Usually if it's a big rehab, they'll get a private loan or a hard money loan, pretty expensive. It's pretty expensive and it's got a high interest rate on it. So what they'll do is they'll get one loan to buy the house and do the repairs, one loan. And when they're done with the repairs, they'll call me, we'll come in and refinance, pay off that hard money loan, pay off that temporary loan. Now they've got a low interest rate, low payment that is making a positive cash flow for them. And we just rinse and repeat. We just do it over and over and over again as they buy property and acquire it. So good point. Anything else anybody want to say about investment property?
I think the key is you don't have to know what your strategy is or your answers. You just need to know good people on your team. And Jo is one who knows what she's talking about and knows the creative strategies to get to be an investment property
Well, I
owner.
will have to pay them. I'll have to buy them breakfast after this. Thank you for saying that, but it's fun.
It's true. Jo does know what she's doing on both single family and investors.
Oh, well, bless your heart. Well, we want this to be something that you guys out there, and I know these gals right here will take very good care of you, and we want you to be happy. We want you to have bragging rights. But you're on Real Estate Mortgage Shoppe. I'm Jo Garner, your host. I'm a mortgage officer. Connect with me. You can call or text me, 901-482-0354 if you want to call or text. Text us today if you have a question. And Silvana Piedati, EXP, how do we contact you?
You can call me at 901-647-6661.
Gay Young, EXP.
901-581-6118.
And Pat Goldstein with Crye-Leike.
Call me at 901-606-2000.
So if you want to, if you have a question, you're listening to our live YouTube, text us at 901-482-0354. gifts from family, cash value on life insurance, and lots of ways that you can find money you didn't know you had.
Order the book today. You'll be glad you did.
Hi, I'm Rob Braun.
And I'm Shelley Rothman of Griffin Cliff Everton and Mashmeyer Law Firm in Memphis, Tennessee.
You're listening to Real Estate Mortgage Shoppe.
And now back to your host, Joe Garner.
Okay, well now we're going to do what's called Did You Know? So I bet you know the answer, but you know what? We're going to ask you anyway. And here is the hint. It's Who Am I? Built in Memphis 1924 to be an alternative to the Peabody Hotel. It was once the city's tallest hotel and hosted legends like Elvis Presley, President Lyndon Johnson. The hotel was once Memphis's tallest hotel with a premier social hub, famous for its roof garden. And after closing in 1968, the historic Italian Renaissance style building was repurposed into apartments and later converted into luxury condos. So, which building is this? I know you guys know.
We got this, the Claridge House condos.
Yes, the Claridge House condos. What a wonderful place. I think, Gay, you said you had some parties up there on the roof.
Well, no, I've attended a party. We have a beautiful rooftop.
And it is a gorgeous
It's no longer
rooftop.
the tallest one in Memphis, though.
No longer, yes. Well, today on Real Estate Mortgage Shoppe, we're talking about real estate. We are talking about turn life changes into smart housing moves, and we're getting some tips from our real estate pros here. And I'm Joe Garner. I'm in the mortgage business and would love for you to connect with me at jogarner.com. We have Silvana Piadotti with EXP Realty. Silvana, how is the best way for us to contact you?
You can always call me at 901-647-6661.
And Gay Young of EXP Realty.
You can call me, 901-581-6118.
And Pat Goldstein of Crye-Leike.
Please call me at 901-606-2000.
Okay, so we're going through, I guess you guys figured out we're going through the life changes from first-time home buyer and move-up buyer to investor, building that real estate income. And if you have a question, if you're listening or watching us on YouTube, you can text me your question or comments at 901-482-0354, and we'll try to answer your question for you on the show. But I want to pivot over to Gay Young. Gay Young has a lot of experience with senior housing options. So if you are that person, or maybe you're just that person that you have a family member and you're trying to make the right decision on best housing for them, Gay Young, what are some of your tips?
Well, first of all, sometimes the senior is the first-time home buyer, as Joe and I have seen recently. Helping a senior actually own their first home is pretty exciting.
Oh, it was something
It was
else.
thrilling. Sometimes the senior is the one that's moving up in a home, and then most of the time it's a senior not just downsizing, but maybe resizing, because the house that they may be moving into might be as expensive or as large, but the situation might be that they need more living space down, a one level, less yard, more accessible for wheelchair or showering or any other handicap needed accessibility. So those kind of things might be the reason for downsizing, upsizing, or resizing. The key, though, is to consider what's important to that person at that stage in their life. And that's what
Right.
we do.
Right.
So the key is sitting down with somebody, really hearing what their dream is. We help make dreams come true as far as housing. So part of our job, and one thing that I like to do with all my customers and clients, is to sit down and really listen to what they're looking to do. If they want to move closer to family, if they need to really simplify their life, what is it they have to do? And then we look at the next steps. How do we prepare? How do we
Right.
get to that step? And the key is to find out how they're going to finance it. Maybe they're cash flush and they can live where they are, purchase the next home with cash. Maybe they need a loan to bridge that change. Someone like Joe, another loan officer, or Joe, can look at their options, whether they can do a bridge loan, whether they can do a loan and do a recast, which
Right.
is go ahead and sell the property they're in and take that money later and put it onto the loan.
Right.
They
And
have-
adjust the payment later.
they have that option. So we look at those things first, and then kind of determine the next steps, which would be to get their house ready. One of the things that I've found interesting recently is the gentle art of Swedish death cleaning. Y'all
What in
ever
the
heard of that?
world is that?
What's that?
I've never heard of it.
So it is a philosophy of taking, decluttering what you have, not waiting until the last minute to do this, but do
Right.
it all along, to not leave it to your loved ones.
Right.
So a lot of what we do is help them with some solutions to declutter, to either keep, curb, or share what they have. What are you going to take with you? What do you need in the new place you're going to be going to? So those decisions, they're not quick decisions. We have to walk our clients and customers through that. So I'm sure you see that often.
Actually, a lot of the seniors have years of accumulation in furniture.
Why are you looking at me?
Oh my goodness. No, because
I think she's
just
looking
saw-
at me.
I just had this sweet couple in Colorville, and oh my goodness, 22 years of accumulation is a lot of furniture, and it's taken them a little bit to get everything,
everything
sorted out.
sorted out.
And most of the things, the family don't want to even take it.
Well, that's what you find is all these things you've saved for years, no one else really wants.
Wants it.
Or the people that you expect wanted it don't really want it. So helping people through some of that in this new life stage is important. And then, helping them with estate sale people or auctioneers, or how to sell what they want to get rid of. And maybe they need professional organizers. And so one role of a realtor, good realtor, is to help them with people to handle these things. How do you handle getting your curb appeal ready? How do you handle staging your home? Those things, everybody throughout whatever stage they are trying to sell a home.
But you are a hub of resources, all of y'all in here. You have the right people you know are going to do a good job, do it at a good price. You're a wealth of resources for people.
We got people.
You got people, you know people.
Yeah. The other thing is softening the blow when they find out that their kids don't want great-grandmother's rocking chair that they've cared for all these years thinking they were going to pass it down.
Well, another thing is what options are out there for seniors, and really the Memphis area, the whole Mid-South area, because we all handle both Tennessee and Mississippi, have different options. We have 55 and up neighborhoods, new construction as well as existing. We have condos, and those are
Low maintenance on condos.
yeah,
Big
yeah.
sell.
And some of them are one level, geared for the 55 and up community, even if they're not exclusive to 55 and up. But just knowing where those are and knowing those options is important. Sometimes downsizing does not mean that you're buying a less expensive property.
Right.
Because sometimes going from more square footage to smaller square footage, but updated and new,
Right.
cost as much or more. So letting them know that that's a possibility. Downsizing doesn't mean necessarily reducing the mortgage payment.
Well, I want to say something, Gay, and to Pat and Silvana also. On this show, my listeners, if you've listened to us over the last 15 years, you know I've always said it's very rare that a reverse mortgage would truly be the best fit for somebody. There's been some improvements to the reverse mortgage loan that has really made it family friendly and allowed more opportunities and more time for people, for families to get the house back into the family name and actually realize some of the equity left in it. I want to tell a quick story that kind of illustrates how a reverse mortgage can work. Reese Rowland, not her real name of course, was around 70 years old and realized she had still had a lot of adventures on her bucket list that she wanted to do. She still had a little bit of mortgage on her house, and but she didn't have enough income to do her bucket list. The answer for Reese after we looked at it, and she didn't want to do a reverse mortgage before because she was afraid her family would not be able to get the house back. I showed her some of these improvements. What she did, she got a reverse mortgage. She got a lump sum, which allowed her to pay off her mortgage, do some repairs, and then she had an income and she could afford to do some of these adventures. And then later she would have money to have somebody come in and help her at some point if she ever needed it. She wanted to stay in the house forever. I had another couple gay that they had a primary residence. They got a reverse mortgage. They used their lump sum to put a down payment on a second home, a vacation home, so they could hang out with their grandkids in the summer, and they used the income from that reverse mortgage to pay for the second home. There are a lot of things you can do with financing, but you're on Real Estate Mortgage Shoppe. I'm Joe Garner, your host. I'm a mortgage officer, and you can connect with me. I hope you do for your mortgage, jogarner.com. We have Silvana Piedati with EXP Realty. Silvana, how do we contact you?
And you can call me at 901-647-6661.
And we have Gay Young of EXP Realty.
And you can call me 901-581-6118.
And Pat Goldstein of Crye-Leike.
I can be reached at 901-606-2000.
So hang out with us. We appreciate you listening to Real Estate Mortgage Shoppe, and we'll see you guys back in just a moment. Okay, so you know what? Most people think success has a deadline, but you know what? It doesn't. This famous person faced failure after failure in life, lost jobs, failed businesses, and setbacks that would have stopped most people. In his 60s, after his restaurant lost business due to a new highway going in, he was left with $105 of Social Security, and that was it. But instead of giving up, he took his fried chicken recipe on the road. He knocked on doors, heard no over and over again. But this kept going until one person said yes. that one yes meant that Colonel Harlan Sanders had hit the jackpot with the restaurant that we know today as Kentucky Fried Chicken. The lesson, it's never too early or too late to turn a life change into your greatest opportunity. So what is it that you want in life? I believe you can accomplish anything owning real estate if you buy it right and you take care of it. The earlier you start in real estate, the wealthier that you can be. But even if you had some setbacks, some delays, you can make that step forward right now, today. Call me, call these wonderful realtors here in our studio today, and we can help you get to the life you want quicker. But today on Real Estate Mortgage Shoppe, we're talking about turn life changes into smart housing moves, real estate tips from these pros right here. And I'm your host, Joe Garner. I'm a mortgage officer. I would love to help you on a traditional loan, special loan, or an outside of the box mortgage. Home purchases, refinances, whether you're in the Mid-South or anywhere in the country, connect with me at jogarner.com. I'd love to be on your journey. And Silvana Piedadi with EXP Realty, how do we contact you?
You can call me at 901-647-6661.
And Gay Young of EXP Realty.
Please call me 901-581-6118.
And Pat Goldstein of Crye-Leike.
Call me at 901-606-2000.
We're going to do something we like to do every week. The real estate tip of the week. And I actually have the real estate tip of the week today. What do you want to accomplish with your mortgage? You can do it. If you're a first-time home buyer, let's explore some special programs, especially down payment assistance programs. You don't even have to be a first-time home buyer to do that. And if you're a move-up buyer, let's explore special programs. We have that for move-up buyers as well. Maybe you want to look at shorter terms, or maybe that recast we talked about earlier can really be a solution for you. And if you're an investor, let's try on some low documentation, low interest rate DSCR special loans for investors. And if you're over 62 years old and you plan to live in your home for many years, let's explore a reverse mortgage or some of the other financing tools that Gay Young and I were talking about earlier. So I want to say thank you to our sponsors, and one of our sponsors is TalkShop, and TalkShop offers free networking and education for anyone interested in real estate, business, or health and wellness. They meet every Wednesday, 9 o'clock at 5100 Poplar, the Clark Tower in Memphis, first floor. So join them, and this Wednesday, April 1st, 2026, 9 a.m. Central, we have Trademark Basics for Entrepreneurs presented by intellectual property attorney Mark Field of Evans Petrie Law Firm. Thank you to TalkShop's most jovial sponsor, Santa Claus. Believe it or not, we have Santa Claus as a sponsor. For your special event or Christmas in July event, contact Santa's booking agent, Chuck Bohannon, 901-619-6436. I want to give a special shout out to Mark Thompson of V2 Media, who is making our live YouTube broadcast today available to you. And if you want to really get your story out there in a clear and a concise and engaging way, you need to call Mark Thompson at v2media.com. And so with that, I want to say, please subscribe, get our podcast, our show notes. You can do that at jogarner.com. And this is a quote corner. Dory Warner says this about being a realtor. Now, y'all, I know this is true. She says, I am basically a full-time psychologist that sells houses now and then. Is that true?
That is very
Yes,
true.
it's so true. And I do have something for those savvy investors out there. Okay, because they are ready to make a deal and they are going to identify distressed properties. That's the key here. Distressed properties is a pre-foreclosure. So when it comes to that, don't fool with the short sale. Let me handle that part of it and we will have the deal for you. So if you identify their distressed property, call Silvana at EXP Realty.
All right. Gay, anything you want to share?
Well, there's lots of options out there for finding the right property for you. The first thing that you want to do is to get with a great realtor who can help you, listen to you, give you those options, get you together with a loan officer if you don't already have one. Joe Garner is an excellent one. There are many in the Memphis area as well, but the key is you need a team to make it happen.
That's right.
And that's what we want to be as part of your team.
Anything you want to add, Pat Goldstein?
Absolutely. You've got 3 very experienced, knowledgeable realtors here, and I would love for you to call me, or you can call Silvana or Gay, and we can help you get through the process of both buying and selling your home.
And I have to say this, I say it at closing every time I deal with these. I tell the client, I say, you have no idea all of the work they do behind the scenes that you don't even know, so you don't ever have to worry about it. That's a good realtor, and I can say that about these 3 ladies here today. And we thank you for listening to Real Estate Mortgage Shoppe. I'm Joe Garner. I'm a mortgage officer. I'd love to be on your journey, whether you're buying in the Mid-South or refinancing in the Mid-South or anywhere in the country. Please connect with me today at jogarner.com. And Silvana, how is the best way to contact you?
The best way to call me is 901-647-6661.
And Gay Young.
Also, call me 901-581-6118.
And Pat Goldstein.
And I can be reached at 901-606-2000.
Okay, so check out, if you missed the live YouTube stream, you can catch it on our YouTube channel at J.O. Garner. That's at J.O. Garner is our YouTube. And we'll also be on some of our social media feeds. But connect with me and let me know what topics you want to hear. I'm Joe Garner, jogarner.com. Remember, Silvana Piadotti with EXP, Gay Young of EXP, and Pat Goldstein of Crye-Leike. We've loved hanging out with you, and we hope that you will join us again and subscribe at jogarner.com so you can get our weekly podcast show notes. We're even going to throw some pictures in there, even some of our corny jokes, okay?
What a deal.
What a deal, isn't it? Yeah. Thank you, and we'll see you guys back next Saturday. Y'all did such a good job.